Of all the weapons in the world, nothing is more profitable than the AK. It doesn't break, jam, or overheat. It'll shoot whether it's covered in mud or filled with sand. It's so easy, even a child can use it. And they do. Today on Clone or Die, we're talking about the most produced AK-47 variant in the world, known as the Angel King, also known as the Type 56. So yes, we are featuring another Cold War era gun. It's possible that we have a theme here on this channel of the things that we like, and the Type 56 is definitely one of them. Now, this gun, when most people think of the Type 56, they think of Norinco as the manufacturer, the stamp. This gun was imported by Polytech, actually. A lot of people think of Polytech and Norinco as manufacturers. They don't actually make anything. Norinco and Polytech are exporters that export the guns that are made at the Chinese state-run factories. So this gun was made at Factory 416, where Norinco has also marked guns from Factory 416. So they're not really making anything, they're just importing these. Obviously this one was imported into the United States during the 80s before they went away forever on the US market. Chinese guns, we'll never see them again, sadly, but they were really great for what they were. Now, a lot of people think of the Type 56 as the gun from the Vietnam War that was used by the North. And while they are correct, that's not actually this gun. This gun is a stamped receiver Type 56, and the overwhelming majority of Type 56s used in the Vietnam War were milled receiver guns. There are a couple examples of early stamped receiver guns that lack the dimples right here, the famous AK magazine dimples. Real fake guns, I talked to him about this. He's like a Vietnam historian. He's done crazy into this, and I'm gonna throw a couple pictures up now of those stamped AKs in the Vietnam War, but you can see they're all the early versions. They're not this one, unfortunately. Those command quite a bit more on the US market. Now, the reason that the Chinese continued to make those milled receiver guns for so long is because by the time the stamped guns had come out, relations had broken down between Russia and China, and Russia never provided the Chinese the TDP, or technical data package, to make the stamped guns or the Dragunov, for example. So China said, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves, and they reverse engineered the guns, so they came out with their own stamped Type 56 variant and their own Dragunov variant, which is pretty ingenuitive. But you know, for the Chinese to steal something and copy it from somebody else, that's pretty normal for their behavior. Now, the reason I call this gun the most famous AK-47 in the world is because most people don't know China actually produced the most 7.62 AKs in the world, far more than Russia did. Now, there's no exact numbers, I can only go based on estimates, but it's estimated Russia produced around 10 to 15 million 7.62 pattern AKs, while China produced around 15 to 20 million 7.62 pattern AKs. And that's out of 100 million total AK platforms worldwide. And these things have shown up everywhere because the Chinese sold them to everyone. They did not give a fuck. Of course, the Middle East, as well as other Asian countries, Africa, shitload of Type 56s in Africa, and South America as well. And then we have the nice civilian commercial export models here in the United States, Canada, and Europe, actually. Now that many that served overseas will note, Type 56, Chinese AK, what are you talking about? That's a piece of shit. And like many things in China, not all Type 56s are created equal. In the 1980s, when arms trade was opened up with China in the United States, China knew to compete on the US gun market, they had to deliver a very high quality product. So a lot of their AKs were actually hand selected off of their military product lines. So it resulted in a really, really high quality product coming in, whereas most of the rest of the world, where it didn't matter, like Africa or the Middle East, where, hey, not many countries are going to sell them firearms, so they're going to take what they're going to get. They often got the lower quality Type 56s that were kind of shitty and jammed a lot. But here we got really nice ones with good features. One thing that I'm surprised is not talked about on, that really surprised me when I first got this rifle, is how good the trigger is on these Chinese guns. Honestly, I think they're some of the nicest factory-built guns you could get, even to this day, as far as the AK market in the United States. Straight from Saddam's palace. Never fired, only dropped twice. Fucking 70 yards with a handgun. 2 Gulf Wars. Now there are a few features that are distinct on the Type 56 that kind of set it apart from some other AKs you might see. One is the hooded front sight up here. If you see that, you know it's probably a Chinese Type 56 or it's a Draco, one or the other. Another pretty distinctive feature is the left in the white bolt, or chromed as a lot of people will call it. Not many manufacturers did that. Yes, Zastava did it. Yes, some Russian guns have a chrome, but typically it's a trademark of Chinese AKs, as well as them having a different rivet pattern. I'm not gonna get too autistic into the rivet patterns of the gun, but they have a different one than the Russian-built guns or the other countries, Romanian, etc., because they were developed separately. Another distinct feature is on the magazines, the steel-stamped ones. They don't have a rib on the back, a spine. They're called Chinese flatbacks for a reason, because they're flat on the back. And honestly, I think they're probably the best stamped metal magazines that are on the market for AKs, Chinese mags. Their slings are a little bit different than the Russian ones. They use these leather attachments instead of the metal hooks that the Russian ones use. Honestly, this is quieter, better design. The Chinese thought about a few things. This version does also have the cleaning kit in the stock. Not all Type 56s will have that, but this one does. Now, the reason I got this is because my dad, he grew up during the Vietnam War, and something very distinctive for him was the pig spiker bayonet. Not all Type 56s have this as well. Some have the regular AK bayonet, but this one is very distinct as far as like Type 56. You see that underfolding bayonet. Yeah, it's a Chinese Type 56, it's the spiker. And that was very iconic for my dad. And he always wanted to get a Chinese AK because of his growing up and seeing it on TV, and he never got one, unfortunately. There was always something else to pick up as far as our collection. So about a month after he passed away, a buddy of mine called me up at a shop and he said, "Hey, we got a Chinese Type 56, good price, do you want it?" And I knew it was something that he would love and we could have enjoyed together. So I said, yeah, I want it. And I picked it up, and it's been just great so far. It's really a treat to have one of these. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. Chinese AKs have a special place in my heart, and they're really just a treat to shoot and own. They're awesome. Clayton has a couple he'll be talking about. He may appear again on the channel sometime soon. Special thanks to my cameraman for today. Greg is filming, Spartan117 GW. Thank you for that. But for now, this is Jack from Clone or Die, and I'll see you in the next video.